But now we're going to concentrate on the comments that we all saw when we picked up our newspapers this morning. The fact that Sir Alex Ferguson was having a chat with a UFC fighter. I'll let Goffey tell you his name in full. But either way, it was videoed, and he was asked whether or not he would start Cristiano Ronaldo. And I don't know if Fergie Goffey knew he was being filmed, but either way, he said, will you always start with your strongest team out? And of course, it's difficult for Solskjaer because, of course, you've got the greatest manager, probably the greatest British manager of all time, one of the greatest managers ever, still going to Old Trafford. And rightly so. You know, he's earned that. He's got a stand named after him. He's an absolute superstar. He's a genius, etc. I know it's going to be difficult for Solskjaer. But personally, I just feel you've just got to deal with it. You've got to get on with the job. And whatever manager comes into Old Trafford will know that Sir Alex is going to be there for a long, long time, hopefully. But having said that, I still can't for the life of me understand why, when you've got a break coming up, an international break, Ollie is not picking his strongest side. And what that does subconsciously as well to Everton, when they see the team sheet handed in, there's no Sancho, there's no Pogba, there's no Ronaldo. I do find that very bizarre. But before we talk about that side of things, what did you make of Fergie's comments? Because they were quite damning, weren't they?
Well, listen, when he talks, people are going to listen, and it's going to be news because he is Sir Alex Ferguson. He's one of the greatest, if not the greatest ever. I mean, simple as that. Coming from a professional sporting background, which I've been lucky enough to do for many, many years, and being around and seeing things, it's very difficult to forget the past. You should always be respectful of the past as a player, but try and move on from it. I think that's the biggest key to anybody who's a current player, especially at Manchester United, or current manager, as in Solskjaer. We know he looks up to Sir Alex. Because when I was at Yorkshire growing up, we had a bad game or something, or we didn't win the title again for another year. They were adding up. Oh, that's another year Yorkshire have not won the county championship. Oh, in the 60s we won it 4 years in a row. And you got all the old players from that era coming out and talking about it in the media, saying how rubbish we were. You'd seen pictures on the wall of all the legends from the 60s. And that's what I mean. You've got to be respectful of it, but you've got to move on from it as well. And one of the problems Manchester United are going to have, and they have had since Sir Alex has left, is it's not Sir Alex's team and that successful team that he had for many years. Same as Liverpool. Look how long it took for Liverpool to get over that great spell they had in football where they dominated football in this country. You know what I mean? And Europe. And it took them a long time to establish themselves again. It's very difficult, Andy, and Sir Alex is a legend and deserves to be involved at Manchester United. But when he speaks, it's going to make the news, unfortunately, for Ollie.
Let's speak to some Man United fans. 08717223334. That's the number to dial so you can have your say on National Radio. Chris is up first. Hello, Chris. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Hi, guys. Great show as always. Thanks
you,
for having me.
It's our pleasure. It's our pleasure. Thanks for listening and phoning up. Go on then. You're a United fan. Firstly, what did you make of Fergie's comments?
Well, I kind of agree with everything that you and Goffey have just said. Fergie is a legend at the club, and whether Ollie likes it or not, he's going to have an opinion, and Ollie openly admits that he speaks to Sir Alex on the phone regular, so he's probably already heard it from Sir Alex before the papers have reported on it. It's unfortunate that the papers have caught wind because you've aired your laundry in public, so to speak, but I think it's just one of those things. Part and parcel of the job at United.
Do you think it puts more pressure on Solskjaer because he's there? And listen, he should be there, Fergie. I have no problem with that whatsoever, obviously. You know, he's an absolute legend, so he's going to be there. But do you think it puts even more pressure on Ollie, on the managers before, on the managers that are going to come in after him?
I think it does, but I think it's part and parcel of the job. It's a bit like the England job used to be a poison chalice, so to speak. I think while ever Sir Alex is there, he's part and parcel. He comes with the job, unfortunately. You've got to be able to deal with that. That's
okay,
the character.
Chris, let me ask you this question then, because of course we know he's relatively inexperienced, Solskjaer, and it's a massive job. He's one of, if not the biggest in world football. Do you think it's to his benefit that he's got the ear of Sir Alex Ferguson?
Yeah, definitely, because he can only learn from the experience that Fergie's got. But if he listens to what Fergie says and he chooses not to do that, and then he comes a cropper, then it's his own fault, isn't it? You live and die by the sword.
Well, isn't that true there? But he refused to have the manager's car park passed, didn't he?
Yeah.
When he had that, he still gives that to Sir Alex. It's ridiculous. He is the manager of Manchester United. Sir Alex is the king, is the legend, and should be respected forever and ever as one of the greatest managers of all time. But Solskjaer's the manager. He has to be in control. But I think when it comes down to it, we all know Ronaldo wouldn't have gone to Manchester United if it weren't for Sir Alex stepping in. Simple as that. So that's how important he is to the football club. Yes, having Ronaldo there puts extra pressure on Solskjaer, but you should be under pressure. You're manager of Manchester United. You're not manager of Norwich. You're manager of Manchester United.
Chris, thanks for your call. Let's go to Colin, a Manchester United fan. Hi, Colin. How are you? Good afternoon.
Yeah, hi guys. Great show,
Thanks,
as usual. I kind of agree with the points being made. I don't think it makes any difference with Sir Alex still being there. Somebody for Solskjaer to look for advice if required, but he knows what he's doing. And I think the only thing out of the last game for me was we would have known. I think we would have known that it was a weakened Everton side, but the fact that both Gray and what's his face, the right hand side guy, Townsend.
Who you talking about?
The fact they were playing would have given them a bit of a clue as to what the style of what the play would have been, and it looked to me from the highlights I saw that they weren't really coping with that particularly well, and it was a bit disjointed.
Right.
So it was maybe slightly disrespectful. So I think that comes back to the comment that Ferguson's allegedly made about playing your best team to put the game to bed early doors, get a couple of goals and so on. That's kind of my thoughts on it, sort of thing.
Yeah, well, you should play your best team. I mean, Manchester United are not a team like Manchester City, who have had so much success over the past 3 or 4 years, where he can afford to make the odd change here and there and surprise everyone who's watching. Oh, he's not played him. And he's made mistakes. Listen, there's no doubt whatsoever. Guardiola's made huge mistakes, especially in Champions League games. He made it in the final last year. So he gets away with them because it's Guardiola and he's winning loads of trophies. Solskjaer's trying to win. Now, what we know about Sir Alex, and this is why it's important, he is around because of what he has to offer. He knows how to build and develop a successful squad. How many times did he do it when he was manager of Manchester United? He knows the structure of the club inside out. He built it. He makes sure all those young players at 12, from 12 years old, are all playing the same brand of football as you want the senior team to play. That's him. He has always had a blend of youth and experience in his side. That's what Solskjaer's trying to copy to a certain extent, because it's been a successful way of doing things that Sir Alex did. And the way he handles the media, which I still think that's the biggest thing that Solskjaer needs, he still needs a load of help. Not just on his tactics, but actually handling the media, because he hasn't got a clue on that.
Okay. Let's go to Rachel. She's a Man United fan. Hi, Rachel. Good afternoon.
Hi, guys. How are you both?
We're good, very well. How are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. Right. My opinion is, yes, Mr. Ferguson, the great Alex Ferguson, should have his opinion, and it should be voiced and it should be heard. Not only by Ole, but by everybody. His input in the club for the last however many years, it's been years and years, it's important, and I think to see that club forward, I think it's important. So yeah, my opinion is it should be heard.
Rachel, how much influence do you think he has over what Solskjaer's doing at the moment?
Well, how Ollie's doing at the moment isn't great, so I don't think Ollie's listening a lot, if I'm honest. I think Ollie's doing what he wants to do, especially not starting Ronaldo, because, like Alex Ferguson said, you start your team, start your best team, and he's not doing that. And regards to not wanting to start Ronaldo because he's got to be fit for Portugal, that isn't our problem. That's Portugal's problem. He plays for us. His contract.
I don't think he said that though, did he, Rachel? He's not come out and said that, has he?
I have heard it on your sports show today. Yeah.
On what show said that? That Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said he's not playing Ronaldo, so he's fit for Portugal.
No. One of your presenters this morning.
Yeah.
This afternoon, said that today, and I was listening.
I'm stunned.
I know. Honestly, you listen to the build-up just before 5 o'clock. Someone has said that today.
What do you mean before what? 5 a.m.
No, 5 o'clock this evening.
Oh, on this show? On this show?
Yes. No, not on your show. Oh, Mr. Goldsteiner, it's not you, I promise.
Goldstein, but... Okay, all right. So it was just before 5, and we came on air at 4, so it wasn't in this show.
Okay, it was in this show, but the build-up,
yeah,
this conversation that we're having now, was...
Oh, I see. In the little clip, the audio clip, you mean with all the different voices, someone said that. Okay, all right, well, I'll have a listen to that again.
Andy,
I can't,
can I
thanks,
just say...
Rachel. I can't believe that, if that was... I can't believe that Solskjaer would rest a footballer.
I'm not having that.
So he's fit for international duty.
I'm not having that. And I said this yesterday, Ronaldo come to Manchester United not to sit on the bench and be rested. How many times did he sit on the bench and get rested at Real Madrid? How many times did he sit on the bench and get rested at Juventus? Very rarely.
Yeah, but it's international week as well. There's nothing to rest him for.
Exactly. So if you ask Ronaldo and he were to give you an honest answer and you asked him how disappointed he was about being on the bench, he could go on a rant for half an hour.
Of course.
He wants to play. He wants to put the ball in the back of the net. He wants to be the top scorer in the Premier League. He wants Manchester United to win the Premier League. That's why he's come back. He wants to be the hero. Right? That is Ronaldo. And when it comes down to... when she just said there, but obviously he doesn't listen to Sir Alex. Sir Solskjaer makes the decisions. Rightly so. Solskjaer, game day, match day, tactics, that should be Solskjaer. He shouldn't be ringing up Sir Alex and say, what shall I do in the 68th minute? Shall I put Ronaldo on or shall I take Sancho off? I mean, it's got to be his decision. At some point, he's going to stand on his own feet. There's nothing wrong with having a mentor and calling him up in the build-up to a game at the weekend and ask him in his thoughts.
No, of course not.
But he still has to make his decisions. Also, it shows it or proves he's out of his depth.
I think he does because he's got a team around him. It's not just him. But I think it's he's got Mike Phelan, he's got Michael Carrick alongside him as well. So listen, we'll never know just how much of an influence Fergie has. But listen, United fans, I want to hear from you. We're only moving this on for another 10 minutes. Then we talk boxing. So if you want to talk about Fergie and Solskjaer and United, now's the time to call 08717 22 334. This is Drive on talkSPORT with WeBuyAnyCar.com. Don't part exchange, get money off your next car.